I don't know if it'll work if the mixer is running since I don't know that
Freaking
stuff. But
Streamlabs.
It's not. It's OBS. It's not Streamlabs.
Oh,
oh,
I thought it
I
was
hear now.
called
You can hear
Streamlabs
us.
OBS.
I hear Montee too. I hear Montee
Yeah.
too.
So it's for some reason it's our mic, but it's not.
I hear you both.
Okay, so I had to put a different capture in, even though our mic is working. That's weird. Okay, thank you.
Sound good.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Jenny for helping us sort that out.
Right?
Sometimes, yeah, she's right. You just gotta throw everything at the wall and hope that it works. Is this? There we go. Well, after all that, you ready, Mons?
Yep.
All right, let's see if this works. Welcome, and thank you for tapping into some Untapped Keg. I am one of your hosts, RJ Zimmerman, here with my good friend Montee Ball. How you doing, big guy?
Good. I'm tired. tired this morning, but I am feeling good, man. It's the top of the year, top of the morning. I think we're gonna have a great 2022, man. Great 2022. How you feeling?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Irritated. I'm feel a little powerless. So my wife's been sick for the entire week, basically since Sunday. Honestly, she started to come down with something, and she started feeling better. But we're like, well, we better get tested anyway. So I went and got tested. First off, there's no tests anywhere. You can't get tested. It's really hard. So we had to schedule a test 3 days down the line. So, she slept. I took care of the kids. No big deal. I go get tested, still waiting on the results, but she paid to get some faster results and came back positive. So we're thinking about canceling our plan to travel to Wisconsin because of Omicron, but we're like, no, like we have to go. It's the holidays. Spend time with family. It's gonna be worth it. We'll be safe. We'll be diligent, and it did not matter. We don't know where she was exposed or how. We're just assuming it was airport and traveling, and I'm pretty sure my oldest had it. So far, he's just had a little bit of a fever, and that's it. But and I hope that that's it. My youngest doesn't seem to be affected by it, which is awesome. So far, I'm good. We'll see what my test comes back, but if I have it, I'm gonna end up being asymptomatic, is what it is. So, get your booster. I have my booster, and move on from there. I guess you just got to do what you can and let the rest fall where it is, because we only have control over our actions. And unfortunately, we've been shown throughout this entire process that nobody else cares how their actions affect, or I should say, a lot of people don't care how their actions affect other people. But yeah, it's a little bit disheartening, to say the least.
Right. For me, I think it's gosh, man, so much anxiety. Rightfully so, right? So much anxiety surrounding the or Marion, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Virus, mutation of obviously COVID-19. So just COVID-19 as a whole, right? So much anxiety filled around it, because you could do all the right things, right? You guys have been doing all the right things. You guys have been extremely cautious. You guys have been wearing your mask. Obviously, you got vaccinated pretty early on, got your boosters, X, Y, and Z. and now like you could still catch it and not even know where you got exposed at, where you got it from. And that's just what I think is the most frustrating part about this entire process.
Yeah.
Just not knowing where you caught it. Yeah, and so like you can be going to the coffee shop to get your favorite coffee, or traveling like you guys were traveling for an important event. And it's just unfortunate, and that's why it's just an entire group project that this country is failing on. And I just
You
don't
got
see-
the few people putting in all the work and everybody else riding the coattails.
exactly, and just like in school, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
got those 4-person group. You got 2 people that are doing all the work, and the other 2 are just up there just to smile and wave. But that seems to be what's going on right now in this country, and it's just unfortunate, man. And I think it's again, we don't want to talk so much about COVID, but it's kind of hard not to, given the direction that we're heading right now, because we're not getting any better. But I do hope, boy, I do hope the wife, my lovely sister, heals up, man, and hope you guys chart through that and make it out the other end stronger, better, all the above. But it's just unfortunate, man.
She's feeling better now, but it was definitely, I mean, we were both worried because we thought we gave it to you guys. We thought maybe the cold that our youngest got from daycare might have been COVID. So we texted everybody, my family, you guys, you all got tested negative, which is amazing. It's been 8 days, so if you had it, you'd either be showing symptoms or you'd think you'd test positive. True. From us at least. And then nobody in my parents and my brother and sister, nobody's sick. So that's a good thing at least. So that was a weight off that we didn't infect anybody else, because since we got back, we've basically been in de facto isolation anyway. And then when she started being sick, I was actually, so our friend from Knee Brace Radio, I was going to meet up with him for dinner. And then Ashley she was feeling, kind of iffy. And then I told her about it. She's like, really? You're going to go out and eat right now? And I was like, yeah, I was kind of planning on it. And she's like, that's not smart. And I'm like, you're right. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, instead of dinner, you just want to take the kids to the park together? And then my oldest started to have a little bit of a cough. And I'm like, well, let's just, and he was unsure too because of what was going on. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, my wife's pretty sick. It's a good thing. Let's just we'll cancel it next time. We'll meet up or something. And then it was like, it was just like, I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating to say the least, but I'm glad that we went into isolation the way we did a little bit early. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we turn it around here in this country. But I'm most definitely not going to hold my breath on that. But it is 2022, man.
It is
2022. Let me hear some of these goals, man. Let me hear some of these goals for 2022 of yours. And you don't have to give me 10. You don't have to give me 15. You can just give me 2, right? Want to start speaking some things into existence.
Absolutely. So first things first, I got my new shirt. Let's show it. Yeah.
Nice.
So this is going to go next to my Black Lives Matter shirt. I like it. Tupac. Mental health matters. So, the thing that I said the night of, because we were FaceTiming, I said growth. And that's multiple aspects. I want to grow, continue to the growth that I've started this year as a person. I think I've made a lot of strides as a person.
Yeah.
And then I would like to continue that growth into the professional and grow this into a business, not just a podcast, but take Untapped Keg LLC and move it up, and we become a force, and we get this thing going. And we have ideas behind that. We've been working behind the scenes to make that happen. But Jenny was nice enough to tweet out that we were close to 100 subscribers on YouTube. I want to get that up to 1,000 this year. I want to be at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want, 1,500 followers on Twitch or Twitter. I want, Twitch is just going to be like our gaming space, but if we get that up to 500, that'd be great. If we just continue to take steps and get better and better. And I think that as this show has gotten, we had an intro today. Little by little, we've been getting it better. Now I just want to take that little snowball that we made, push it down the hill, and watch that thing just grow just massively. And then I want to collaborate with other streamers more than what we did, right? We met so many interesting people, and the people that we've had on to tell a story and everything. I want to continue that, and I want to collaborate with making some videos and stuff. So that is where I would start, and then from there, we're gonna go places. We're going places. So
yeah. No, I think this. I mean, obviously, great goals, similar goals, obviously for myself.
Yep.
Since this is what we're doing, and I think it's gonna be good, man. I really do. I think, outside of all the madness, and it's hard to ignore the madness that's happening outside. But outside of all the madness, I think if we continuously focus on just step by step, like you said, brick by brick, we'll get to where we want to get to. So I like those goals. I most definitely like the goals, the Untapped Keg goals, the business side of it. We got some really awesome things coming up. They're already in the works right now, which is pretty cool. But did you share any personal goals?
Just to continue growing, right? So find a really good therapist, get some good ADHD meds, and be able to kind of self-schedule myself, and that's kind of it. Just continue the growth that I started this year, because I think this year, in my 35 year, I think that I grew more as a person than I have in the previous 20 years. And I'm really proud of that. And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't like the entire year was growth, but like just where I've gotten, I feel a lot more comfortable, not just with myself, but with steps that I've taken. So that's exciting. So I want to not be satisfied with where I'm at, which is something that I struggle with sometimes, and I just want to continue to grow. So that's my personal goals.
I like that. I very similar, man. Yeah, obviously, like I said, Untapped Kid goals. We both obviously share those, and then for myself, I you're really taking the words right out of my mouth. I think for myself as well, in 2021, I had the greatest jump in growth than I've had probably since my entire life. I think, outside of the game of football, of course, just my personal life, I think. And I think it's, a lot of it is because of what we talk about here at Untapped Keg and what we've been just preaching, man. Week by week, day by day, hour by hour, it's been one hell of a journey. And so for myself, again, I'll dive a little bit or deeper into that. So for me, when I talk about growth, what I want to see in myself this year, again, I want to continuously work towards graduating, which I'm scheduled to graduate in May, which is exciting. So I want to knock that out. Thank you, man. So I want to knock that out. I want to continue with my physical health. I've been really improving on that. I started working out November 15th, and I am currently down 43 pounds since. Very open. Is that all? I was 283, and you can go. It's crazy, dude. I was going back and looking at photos from October.
I told you when we saw you at Christmas, I was like, dude, you look like you're back to your playing days. Like, right. Or when you were here over Thanksgiving, I was like, where's the other half of you?
Yeah, I was 283. 283 the end of October. About 280, yeah. And I'm now at 239. So whatever that is, I just weighed myself before I hopped on this podcast. So, but I want to continue with my physical health, because I think, again, as our last episode, we talked a lot about how physical health is important for your mental health, right?
Yeah.
For lack of a better phrase, I should say it's kind of the feel good look, or the look good, feel good. aspect of it. It helps you to build confidence, helps you to build discipline, right? And that discipline can bleed over to other aspects of your life. And for me, an example that this discipline has bled over into is school. I've been really focused on my physical health, which that discipline has allowed for me to be more disciplined in school. That discipline in school has allowed for me to be more disciplined in my physical health. Me being more disciplined in my physical health has made me more just feeling better mentally, happier, drinking more water, sleeping, all of the above. And I just want to keep preaching that for folks out there. Medicine is obviously important if that is what you need. But then again, there's a million ways up this hill, and maybe you just need more physical health, more improved physical health, or more of a better environment, a better hobby, a hobby that's more hands-on, more time-consuming, healthy hobbies.
Just something new, right? Just trying something new.
Yeah.
The thing that I think as we get older, we get caught up in, and that this also starts when you're younger, right? But you really get into it like in your late 20s to 30s, and then you see it in people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. The first time you do anything, it's uncomfortable. It gives you this feeling of uncomfortable, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. You fumble around with it. It doesn't matter what it is. First kiss. Doesn't matter if it's the first time you dribble a basketball. Doesn't matter, even like when you watching my babies grow. The first time you crawl, the first time you walk, it's not comfortable, right? But trying something new doesn't mean you're going to be a master at it right away. You're going to fumble through it. Look at this podcast, right? Like we fumbled through quite a bit of it. Look at this morning, right? Like this is almost our 100th episode. This is episode 94. And we had audio issues and we couldn't get it going. And it's been a year and we're just like, and thankfully Jenny came on and helped us kind of sort it out, but we still don't know why the program wouldn't work. It just wouldn't. And that's just how it is sometimes. But just know that you can try something new, enjoy what happened, but not necessarily be happy with the outcome, and that's okay. But trying something new and being uncomfortable, it's important. Like the first time you were sober, the first time you went to a party sober and stayed sober, the first time you went to a bar and stayed sober. Like sometimes that's still uncomfortable for me, and it's been 8 years, and that's okay. It's okay to be uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes we got to embrace being uncomfortable and growing. Right? I'm not talking about somebody being racist in the room and you being uncomfortable, or somebody being demeaning to you, being misogynistic or something. I'm talking about just us being in our own headspace and being uncomfortable. Sometimes we need to allow that to happen in order to grow, because growing is not comfortable.
No, it's not supposed to be. It's kind of like the analogy of a plant growing in the pot back there. You see that plant that I got back there? Most definitely. You got to get it into a bigger pot. You start to outgrow your environment. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but it can bring you joy once you get into that newer environment, new people, new all of the above. And so I think, man, honestly, for 2022, we're just going to crush it. I'm just going to go ahead and just say that. I'm just going to crush it. But I got something, man. I got something.
Okay.
I'm ADHD's all over the place today, but I got something.
That's okay. We ain't got nothing planned today. That's
I got something.
Okay.
Because it's the start of the new year, man. I think this is just a wonderful time right now. This is completely different topic, you guys here, right? So just bear with me. This is an amazing time right now for science. And I'm just not seeing.
Are we entering MC squared? Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Just so everybody knows, we're gonna get a song for this. All right, but we are entering Montee's Conspiracy Corner. MC squared.
It's okay. Again, start of the new year, right? 2022. We're just obviously the news is just all you're seeing is COVID. Celebrity deaths, unfortunately, which is obviously
rest in peace, Betty White. Rest in peace, John Madden.
Absolutely, and I just think that we're just not. There's not enough banter. There's not enough, not banter, I guess. There's not enough excitement around the science that's going on right now, where we're at right now as a society, as humans, regarding science. Like the James Webb telescope. I'll get to that in a second, but we can go back to the warp bubble, right? The warp bubble that we accidentally created. So for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, a warp bubble is essentially, if you've seen Star Trek, right? You don't even have to watch it, but or Star Wars, and they hit warp speed, right? Traveling in interstellar travel quickly, right? In order to do that, you need a warp bubble. You need a warp bubble, an energy field, essentially around a ship to protect it to travel at those light speeds. Faster than light speeds, all of it. But long story short, we accidentally created one. Here's my theory. If we accidentally created a warp bubble in 2021 of August, well, that's when the report came out. So it's probably sometime in the beginning.
I think they said it was March was when they made the discovery. So
March of last year,
21. Yep.
21. So if we were capable of creating a warp bubble, right, in 2021 of March, then does that mean 100 years from now, 100 years from now, time travel is possible? And if time travel is possible, is somebody already here from the future? Think about it. Think on that.
Are you saying somebody from the future came back and created COVID?
No, all I'm saying is, in order to time travel, you need a warp bubble too, because time travel is, I don't want to get into time travel.
I get it. So they came back and actually helped create the vaccine. And then that's why it happened so fast.
All I'm saying is, again, if you travel at light speeds, you can time travel essentially. And that's just my theory. That is just my theory. But I want to get to James Webb telescope real quick, and it's not even a conspiracy.
I just want to bring this up, okay? Why is light speed equated with time travel? I mean, all light speed is the fastest we perceive time, or a speed, velocity, right? That's the fastest that we can perceive.
And time too.
Anything is light travels faster than anything that we know of right now, right? So why do you think that light and time travel are intricately linked?
Einstein's theory of relativity.
But that's only true so far as we know it, right? Like that's really still technically, I guess, a theory, not really proven yet, but
it's been proven. It's already been proven.
Then it's not a theory anymore. It's a theorem.
It's a theory. Well, right. Einstein's theory. It's Einstein's theory of relativity.
Right. I know that's what we still call it, but
do you want me to answer it for you?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why time travel is essentially equated with light speed, because if you are to travel at light speed or faster than light speed away from Earth, right? And then if you are to stop where you are positioned right now, traveling at those speeds, if you are to come back to Earth, you will not come back to the same Earth that you left.
Right.
It would be like 500 years into the future for Earth. But for you traveling at those speeds, it was probably only 30 minutes.
But that's not.
And so if travel. It is. If you were to then turn around and travel back, you will be the same age, but Earth will be 500 years in the future.
Yep. And
so that has been proven. I forgot how they proved it, but
it was the black holes.
We can all Google it.
It was when they finally filmed black holes. They were able to prove the theory of relativity.
And it's just remarkable how Einstein's theories back in the early 1900s, or whenever the hell he was alive, were legit.
I don't understand.
It's just incredible.
So, like, I love when you talk about this stuff, right? And I love talking about this with you and your dad. But
I'm gonna get to the James Webb telescope here in a second.
I don't understand how that's time travel. Like that's a travel, and yes, you didn't age much, but the Earth did. That's still just you traveling. That's not actually time travel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So That's kind of what
Hollywood-
I meant.
Hollywood screwed it up. Hollywood is wrong.
Interstellar's right though.
Interstellar is right. Yes, touche, because they had the physicist, the astrophysicist, Kip. I think Kip is his name. You guys can hit Google for that, but he helped out Christopher Nolan for that movie, and it's extremely accurate. You know, a lot of other astrophysicists studied the film, of course, and said, "Yeah, that's pretty accurate based off of Einstein's theory of relativity and Stephen Hawking's theories regarding black holes." But now let me talk about
let's
the
move
James Webb
from the time travel. Let's move over to the other part of the corner.
One quick about the time travel.
Okay.
I agree with you. Yeah, that's not the same time travel that we're all used to, right? Where you could just, pick up a device and travel to wherever you want to travel to. Maybe we'll get to that point, but who knows? But still, the creation of a warp bubble now no longer makes warp speed travel science fiction.
Okay.
Now it's a reality. Now it's very possible. Now we just have to figure out how to make it bigger, of course, and how to actually get an object inside. And that's probably going to take another 50 years. Who knows? But anyways, James Webb Telescope. Dude, do you know what the James Webb Telescope's first mission is? I'll say one of, because who knows how many
to deploy its sensors and what's its first mission? I don't know.
Dude, its first mission, right? So there's this, the closest star to us outside of our sun. So closest star to our solar system, I believe, is Sirius A. And obviously, we've seen some exoplanets. Usually, you see exoplanets obviously circling, orbiting a star, just like our solar system. Well, there is this exoplanet that is very similar to Earth. Its first mission, one of its first missions, I don't know if it's first, but is to obviously point itself at this exoplanet, and it'll be able to detect what's in its atmosphere, I think within minutes, or is right if the percentage of oxygen, the percentage of carbon dioxide, or whatever that's in its atmosphere. But also what it's going to do is it'll be able to tell at nighttime, it'll be able to tell if the light radiating off of the planet is natural light or man-made light, because on our planet at nighttime we can detect from the International Space Station, or even further away, we can detect, we're turning our satellites back towards us, light radiates some man-made light, right? It's a different, shows up different on the radar or whatever than obviously the sunlight. And so that's what they're going to do. So man, right off the bat, we may be able to get a lot of answers if we're alone or not, because if they point that bad boy at that planet and they detect that there is man-made light radiating off of that planet, there goes the Catholic Church.
Well, I was going to say, most of humanity better hope that we're alone, because nobody else is going to want to touch us with a 10-foot cattle prod. And
I mean, listen, if I was an intelligent extraterrestrial being, I wouldn't want anything to do with humans. We're a virus.
Wouldn't want
just
to.
Like on the Matrix. Just like on the first Matrix. Exactly. We are the definition of a virus. There's no other living thing that destroys its own habitat. Only we do. And what else does that? Multiplies and destroys. It's a virus. So enough of my corner.
All right.
There. Thank you for my rant.
And that is the end of Montee's Conspiracy Corner, MC squared.
Thank you for my rant. I had to get that off my chest.
That James Webb Telescope's really, really exciting. Like,
I just don't see enough. I don't see enough on Twitter or.
That's because people don't care. People are wrapped up right around here. That's it.
You seen the movie Don't Look Up?
No.
So it's it's a movie. It's got all the stars in it: Leonardo DiCaprio, Ariana Grande, Meryl Streep, Kid Cudi, all the stars. Right? They wanted to get all the stars together, and it's a movie about Jennifer Lawrence. So Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio are astrophysicists, and there's a asteroid coming to hit the Earth. Blah blah blah. But the symbolism of the movie is the comet is COVID. Because once the comet is coming, then the media starts spinning stuff, and groups start to form where it says, "Don't look up." They're just trying to steal our guns or something, to trick us to steal our guns. And then you got other groups that are like, "Look down." Long story short,
That's interesting.
Yeah. So long story short, that's just what that movie's about. And
Well, have you seen Arrival?
absolutely,
So
I love that. Amy
that-
Adams.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of that movie a little bit. Just with
oh.
how the media takes it and spins it, and then how that bombing happens, that we kill what we don't understand. And that's true.
That is us.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what happens in Arrival. So that's what kind of reminded me of that too, because they kind of predicted this as well. And Arrival came out, what, 2012, 13?
Yeah, around that time. Yeah. But what else? But with Don't Look Up, sorry, I'm getting long-winded. But
No, it's okay.
the point I brought that up is because, again, when we talked about, you mentioned about the James Webb Telescope, these advancements that we're getting as a civilization. But in the movie, no one's really on social media. They're not talking about the asteroid. They show it to everybody's just talking about celebrity relationships, breakups, all that stuff. And I just get frustrated, man, because I don't know. I'm biased. I love science, and I just think like these are some massive advancements we're making. We plan on getting man on Mars in 2024, and all this stuff, and too busy talking about Kanye buying a house across the street from Kim K. Or
did that happen, or did you make that up?
No, it happened. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it happened. But I'm disappointed. I feel like more people should be talking about this stuff, because
the
this
James
is a
Webb
lifetime.
I didn't even know about it till you and your dad started talking about it. Like, I'd heard about it, right? Like, but like I knew there was a new telescope getting launched that's going to replace Hubble, because Hubble was basically aged out a long time ago. I saw, something that's been interesting to me talking about science, right?
Yeah.
I saw a picture of the first flight at Kitty Hawk. 1912, 1913, 1903, whatever. Then we were on the moon in 1969. What have we done since then?
Yeah, from Wright Brothers to 1969 it's 60 years, I think. 1909, I think, was the... I
mean, to be fair, technology advances the most during war.
True.
So you had 2 world wars to advance air flight technology. So that helped the and NASA and everything else.
True.
So that is part of the reason that we advanced so quickly through that. But that really it just blew my mind that was 60 years from the first flight till we were on the moon. What have we done since 1969? Like, to really push something forward like technology.
That. Right.
We kind of just like coasted, right? We kind of did what I did as a person. Like, I got comfortable where I was and just didn't get better. And I feel like that's what we've done as a almost a world society. Obviously, that's not completely true, because things have gotten better in some aspects, but a lot of aspects, no, it hasn't, right?
No, we turned into. I like that you brought
corporate
that up.
greed.
I never really thought of that too. But we turned. I think once we had our missions to the moon, and again there being nothing there, and it's a waste of money. I think then we just turned it to just strictly research. Just doing a lot of research on the International Space Station, because it does help to develop our medicines. That being what we do up there. But yeah, I think.
But that's the thing. It's how can we profit off of it, right? That's what it's always been. That's why we stopped going to the moon. Oh, there's nothing there we can profit off of. Well, we're not going to go there anymore. Well, like why isn't the betterment of humankind profit enough? Why is it just, like obviously this is kind of devolving into it, but like the top 1% is richer than any other time in human history. And that has taken precedence over everything else. And
Right.
it just gets me fired up. I get really, really mad. And we're seeing a little bit of a worker revolution, like more unionization, more people demanding what they're worth. Like, we cannot get our time back, right?
No.
And people are finally like, no, you know what? You've made record profits for 10 straight years while we've struggled to make rent, while now we can't afford housing. We can't afford to go to college. We can't afford to pay our school loans because you won't pay us what we're worth.
True.
No, we're not going to work for you. And now they're all crying because, we're starting to show. Yeah, because we're starting to show, we can do this ourselves. We don't need you. And that's starting to cut into profits. But, that's the thing about businesses. You don't have to make record profits every single year. That's why they're record. And that's what's been lost. Like, treating people like human beings, treating people to get people. A rising tide lifts all boats, and treating people like they're worthwhile with dignity. That's the word I was looking for. Giving people dignity, like, that's been lost, and it's been being lost since 2000, right? Since the 2000s, it's really, really taken a back seat compared to how it used to be.
It has. I like that. I like that you mentioned that. I want to say,
but I think it's starting to turn around. So I do like that, but it's happening slower than what I was hoping. Might happen, but hopefully we see it happen a little bit faster.
True. I want to say one last thing. This is my final thing about the James Webb Telescope. Again, I love science. Outside of its first mission or its 100th mission, whatever it's planning on doing, one of its missions, it might be the main important one, is to essentially look behind the Big Bang Theory. So the Hubble telescope was capable of looking about 4 billion years into the past.
Mm-hmm.
So from Big Bang Theory, so think about it, guys, as like a tunnel. Boom, a tunnel, right? Earth. That light spectrum. So the Hubble was able to look like right here. The James Webb telescope is going to be able to look all the way to the Big Bang and essentially behind it, which is, again, I don't understand why enough people aren't talking about this. So that's really looking into the past, because you're looking into the light that's coming at us. So it'll be able to see the first ever developing galaxies. And 2, it'll be able to see if there was anything prior to the Big Bang. So there's got to be some wild stuff here. I think we're going to see the freaking architect, like on the Matrix. it's going to be that guy sitting there in his chair like, you're not supposed to see this. But again, it's just going to be awesome, man. The theory about the universe, there's only three options. The universe either created itself, something created it, or it's always been. Again, the universe either created itself, it was created by somebody or something, or it has always been. And we're not too far away from figuring that one of those is right. And I don't think we're too far away from finding out which one it is. And that I don't understand is why I don't understand why people aren't talking about this.
Yeah. I mean, my question is, why are we so obsessed with what created? Period. Why aren't we working on, because we can't, what is that answer going forward? Like, what does that do for us going forward? I mean, it does answer questions, right?
Just because religion. Just because religion. We're fed religion.
That's true. Let people believe what they want to believe, right? As long as it's not infringing on anybody else.
Right.
That
true.
I agree with you. Like, that's really interesting. It is really interesting, and that's all I have. It's really interesting.
No. I think you were going to say a butt.
I was about to say butt, but then I realized I don't have anything on the other side of the butt. I don't have anything else on the other side of the butt.
Oh, I know. I'm weird.
I feel like we're going to use it to piss in cornflakes, and like, what's the point of that? I guess that's my butt. So
yeah, I almost wish we didn't develop it, America, because we're going to figure.
No, that's internationally developed. Like, NASA might be controlling it, but it was an international collaboration.
Yeah, so, that's right. I've seen the photos of the team. and
Yeah.
the countries, they held their flags up. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why I just said that. But anyways, enough of that.
You know,
Enough of that.
space travel. It's exciting until you watch The Expanse and you're like, no, that's how it's really going to be. Everybody
man.
just trying to kill each other.
We're stumbling across some. It's gonna be either I think no matter what, it's gonna be just like the great Carl Sagan's theory or saying, quote, should say, is we're either alone or we're not, and either option is frightening.
Yeah. Maybe we should make things better than make things worse, right? Or just be like, well, I can't do anything about it, so I'm just not going to. Because who says you can't do anything about it? You just don't want to because it's hard work, right? That's what that means. So, all right, transitioning a little bit.
Indeed.
Here's my question for you. We're already past it, and we didn't talk about it before, but
What's up?
when you're first going sober, so have you seen like there's a trend going on like a sober January or a dry January?
Oh, I was talking to some folks the other night, and they said that because they're talking to me and obviously knew my story and everything, and they said, "Yeah, we're gonna try to not drink in January." And in my head, I was like, "Well, why January?"
Right.
So what's going on?
Like, it's a trend for people to do a dry January, and I think part of it might have to do with like quarantine and people picking up excessive drinking habits during quarantining. So,
Right.
like, I saw it on Twitter, I saw it on TikTok, I saw it kind of all over the place. How, if people are just trying to experiment with dry January, let's say, what advice would you give people just starting out, like being dry? Because this isn't the same thing as sobriety, right? Like sobriety, you're giving it up because
Right.
it is an issue.
Right.
So, but it could be along the same lines. So, what's something you could give people for some advice with dry January?
Absolutely. I've already have my answer for this because this is what I've always felt. And again, please don't misinterpret this as being insensitive. Here in Untapped Keg, again, we share our feelings, we share what we're at in our lives, and we're always going to keep it real. And so for me, I think, man, my advice to someone who wants to go dry for a month is, I think it's great. I think it's good that you're wanting to do this, but I would want for this person to focus more on why they believe they need to, as opposed to trying to knock out the 31 days. And so if you're already at that point in your life where you need to go a month without drinking, then I think you really need to be more honest with yourself about what alcohol is doing to you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that I do not mean that in an insensitive way. I really don't. I think you just need to dive more into what brought you to that moment.
Yeah.
And essentially what I'm saying is there an issue there already if you need to refrain from it for a month? And so that's my advice. And I don't mean that in an insensitive way. I just mean, just focus more on, what brought you to that moment to where you told yourself, wow, I think I need to stop drinking for a month. I think it's great. That's a great starting point. That's a huge starting point. That is a wonderful starting point. But after that 31st day, then what?
Yeah. And that's the thing is there's a lot of people that did like, a dry month last year, and then they just kept it going because they realized they didn't need it. That's a awesome. Really, really good point that you bring up. One thing that I would say is try to do things that you would do while consuming alcohol, and then see if they're just as fun or more fun without it, right? One thing we're fed in media, and one thing that we do as a culture is we need alcohol to have fun on vacation, to have fun on, at sporting events, to have fun a night out,
weddings.
for a good dinner can only be good with a wine, right? Like a fancy dinner, right?
People go to weddings just to get drunk.
Me.
I mean, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, like,
I mean, just try it.
it's like, oh, I don't want to go. Is there going to be open bar? Oh,
yeah.
I'm there.
If you are doing a dry January, then just like, if you're going sober, I would say to avoid those things. But if you're doing a dry January, embrace it and see if you're going to have fun doing that, right? Like, if you, let's say you think there's a problem and you're just going to try the month and then keep it going, I would say, one, find a new hobby, or find something, an old one. That's something that we say all the time. Like, find something to do with your time. I would avoid those triggers though, because they are triggers, and I know that personally. And it still sometimes is a trigger to me, but I've just had experience dealing with the triggers now. Like the first, and we talked about this earlier, you're going to be uncomfortable, but if you're doing a dry January and it's just for fun, at that point, just try it and see if you enjoy it, because you probably will. Literally a myth that you can only have fun if you're drinking, right? The first time that I went on vacation, like I was 2 months sober, I went to the Bahamas, stayed sober the entire time. Part of it was because it was just with my now wife, and she helped by not drinking. I was like really, really stubborn. I was not going to drink. Like, I was serious. Like, I'm done with it. Like, I cannot do this. And it ended up being like my best vacation ever. It was the first vacation that I legitimately and truly enjoyed every minute of. And it was the first time that I kind of realized that I don't need alcohol to be a fun person, right? And it's when I found out that, like, it was the first time we ever did a food tour. It was when I realized, like, I love trying new foods. That was the first time that I discovered that, because it used to just be like, I'd try new alcohol and and that's it. But I freaking loved it. Like, I had conch, and I never had conch before. Like,
you got to make sure you enunciate that correctly every time.
Listen,
I tried conch for the first time. You got to make sure you.
It's good. It's really good, especially conch fritters. Oh my goodness. So that's what my advice would be for people who are trying a dry January is.
It's pretty cool.
Try some fun things that you used to do and you would imbibe, and you would have how many ever you'd have, and try to do it dry. And I bet you'll have just as good, if not a better time. And guess what? You're waking up the next morning, no hangover.
So true.
No pills, no wasted day, nothing. You're going to be good to go. One thing I want to highlight is Jenny says that her uncle does a dry January, but that's in remembrance of his DUI. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't drink and drive, folks. That's not funny.
You're not.
But
that is not funny.
The act of a dry January in remembrance, that's a little DUI. Funny.
That's quite the honorable gesture. But
big shout outs to Moonman Flo and Jenny being in chat. I really appreciate it. So
absolutely. I got another one.
Okay.
Because I like what you were saying, and I think the last piece of advice that I would give as well to somebody who's trying out this dry January is, it's awesome. Refraining, I think it's a huge plus. Refraining from the drug of choice that is your drug of choice, but also pay attention to your environment as well too. I think if you just putting the drug down, and then a week later going back into that same environment may, just like what RJ stated, may be the trigger that pushes you to use. So also, while you're refraining or doing this dry month from your drug of choice, take this time as well to really dissect your environment, who you're spending your time with. What are they doing on their free time? Are they attacking their goals? Are they advancing in life in any form of way? Are they trying to better themselves? Are they trying to help you? I think that's so important, if not the most important thing on it, honestly, when it comes to self-medicating, is you're suppressing your feelings, you're doing all this stuff, but what is the environment that you are surrounding yourself around, or that you're placing yourself in? That's very, very important. So that's my advice as well too.
That's a really good point. That's something that we don't talk about enough, is how your environment really impacts,
Oh yeah.
honestly, everything, mental health and everything. We talk about it sometimes, but we don't talk about it enough. But I think
The
that
most important.
this is a good time to talk about calibrate.
Yeah.
Why don't traditional diets work? Because you can't fight your biology with willpower. But calibrate is different. It's comprehensive, doctor-guided metabolic reset that promotes sustainable results through lifestyle changes. Calibrate works as they combine prescribed, FDA-approved medication with lifestyle changes to improve metabolic health. It's a fully integrated program that includes classes, one-on-one video coaching, in-app tracking, and community with members like you. They provide a comprehensive wellness plan personalized to your needs, so it's easy to fit Calibrate into your busy schedule. Check in with the app as often or as little as you'd like. All of the goals you set are personalized and tracked by doctors and coaches. Your weight doesn't reflect your willpower. Get back in control with Calibrate. Get $50 off the 1-year metabolic reset when you use code BELIEVE at joincalibrate.com. That's $50 off when you use the code BLEAV at joincalibrate.com. And now we're back to the show. So, moving from like the dry January, is there anything that you're going to do in this month to really jumpstart the year? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to try a new workout? Are you going to try a new structure? Are you going to try, is there something that you might try to make sure the rest of your year is as successful as you want it to be?
Right. Man, I think, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but I think I started early. I think I started in November. And again, beating this dead horse, but physical health, man. I was talking to somebody the other day, and those out there who are physically fit and religiously work out, or just, you don't even have to religiously work out, right? You just putting the right things in your body, healthy foods, etc. Understand that it's part of the secret. There's other parts of the secret, but the secret formula, I should say, it's a component of it. Just by feeling better, sleeping better, drinking a gallon of water a day, at least trying to, getting close to, just stuff that's relatively inexpensive and very easy to do, can honestly and positively impact other areas of your life significantly, drastically. So I think for myself, man, again, as I stated earlier, beating a dead horse, but I essentially started in November, and I hope I keep this going.
Yeah.
Because it's teaching me, again, as I said earlier, I think 2 episodes ago, my entire life I was forced, in a good way, but to be disciplined. The game of football, coaches got my schedule together. I knew when I was going to eat, get dressed for practice, go to study table, all that jazz. It was all set for me. So the discipline was just a byproduct of my environment. But now, being post football, it's like reinventing myself, and it's been one hell of a journey thus far. And so that's my answer to that. What about yourself, man?
Well, first things first is I'm going to try a new medication for my ADHD, because it's helped, and I know it's helped. I've noticed it since I've been off of it, that it really did help me a little bit. But I want to feel closer to what I would say normal functioning brain would be. Like I want to be able to focus for longer than 5 to 10 minutes at a time. That 5 to 10 minutes, I might be extremely productive. But if I could focus for like 3 or 4 hours, like I don't know what I would get done, but I feel like it would be a lot, and I'd probably scare myself.
Well, you gotta give yourself a break. I mean, I don't know a lot of parents out there who can focus on a project for 3 to 4 hours with 2 children. That the oldest is 4.
Yeah. Well,
It's
but
like-
they have been at school too, is the thing. Like, right?
True.
Even they're at
But-
school for 5, 6 hours. So while they're at school, what do? Well, I don't really focus. So, but we'll see how that goes. But one thing I really, really want to do, and it's something that I've half-assed, is I really want to get a good therapist, and I want to start therapy that really digs into my past, so I could start. And this is part of what we talked about earlier, like what can you do with your past that has to do with your future. But like you kind of have to know where you've been to figure out where you're going. I guess that's true with the telescope when I was making fun of you, but
and I like that
we got to
analogy.
figure out
though.
where we're going. But anyway, so like I have some unresolved issues. Like that's why I drank so heavily. That's why I didn't want to feel anything. Part of it was the toxic masculinity, but the other part was like just there's some issues from my past that I need to get over. That I need to be called out on my crap. I need to work on it, and a good therapist is a start. And I want to do a better job of that. And that's where that's kind of something that I want to do. And then I want to try cooking different, like new stuff. Like, you sent the picture of crab legs the other day. I want to try cooking crab legs. Like I want to try cooking more seafood. I got some new really nice pots and pans. So I want to, I kind of think I want to make some homemade pasta one time, see how it turns out. I want to get really good at simple dishes that taste incredible, which I made one the other day that ended up being like, I was like, I've never made a simple sauce like this before. It was just olive oil, butter, and a little bit of white vinegar and garlic, salt, and pepper. That's it. And it ended up being incredible. So like stuff like that I want to try. I want to try my hand at it. I want to be able to explore a little bit with that hobby and get more confident in it, because that's something in my personal life. That's something me personally I struggle with, obviously, is my self-worth, self-confidence. A lot of that's tied. So,
I understand, man.
One thing I want to talk about too, when you brought it up with your physical health. So you said it's easy to do. And in the book I'm reading, they had a really good quote. Something that's easy to do means it's also easy not to do. So do that easy thing. And yeah, like that's where I want to start with, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I liked what you talked about the whole your past thing, and this quote. I can't remember who it's from, but it's pertains to exactly what you were saying. Where at moments in your life, you may be done with your past, but your past may not be done with you. And so you may have to revisit it in order to continue moving forward. And I think that's extremely important. That's what I did for those 2 years of therapy. And I think, again, million ways up the hill towards your healthy mental state, healthy mental mind, or wherever that is, wherever that checkpoint is in your life. But I think one strong one is therapy. And that's the route I used as well, man. So I appreciate you sharing that.
We're gonna take that stigma down. We're gonna keep talking about things that men don't usually talk about, because it's got to start somewhere. Why not with us?
Indeed.
And that's what we're gonna build. Like, we're gonna build something to help take away the stigma that sobriety is boring, the stigma that sobriety hamstrings you. Like, no, like not at all. And then mental health, same thing. Like, it frees you to be able to be comfortable to do other things. Like the chains that we put around ourselves because society, because people that we're close to that maybe we shouldn't be tell us that these chains exist. Like, I made a move from Wisconsin to Virginia because I did not want those chains to be around my kids. And I felt like here's a better environment where there's less chains. The chains still exist. Society still exists. Culture still exists. But I felt in Wisconsin, they put you in that box. And I feel here, they give you a box and they say, it's more you put yourself into the box than you fill it with the things about yourself instead of putting yourself in there. And that's something that therapy, that all of this stuff can help you with, is to, it honestly, like that, you know, we talked about the Matrix earlier, but that scene in the first Matrix when Morpheus says, free your mind, and then jumps that gap. Like, that is kind of what therapy helps you do, right? It helps you to free your mind.
I'll say the quote.
Go for it.
You're right, though, but you got to say the whole quote.
All right.
You got to let it all go, Neo. His voice gets so deep, but that's how he says it.
I know.
You got to let it all go, Neo. Free your mind. I just love his quotes on that. He's like, what is he doing? When he's fighting, he's beginning to believe.
That's what the new Matrix movie missed. Like, they made Morpheus a construct. Why wouldn't you make the construct look like Lawrence Fishburne?
It was bad. I'm sorry.
I didn't think it was bad, but it was not the Matrix, right? Like,
Dude.
I enjoyed most of the movie, I would say. I enjoyed most of it.
Talk about watching a train wreck. That train started off greatest invention ever in American history. The train, right? The Matrix was the ideology of that movie. The concept of that movie was like one of the greatest ever. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Started off amazing. That movie, that first Matrix, is almost perfect. Literally almost a perfect movie. And then the second one started tilting a little bit on those tracks. And then that third one just completely came off. And then in my opinion, this fourth one, that bad boy just, that bad boy did more than wreck. I don't know. I was not a fan. I'm extremely disappointed. But that's for another episode.
I mean, we all know that Wonder Woman 1984 was your favorite movie from 2 years ago. So,
on that note, that's the worst movie. It's Battlefield Earth, worst movie ever. Battlefield Earth with John Travolta. It's Wonder Woman 1984, and then it's Matrix 4.
So, I still haven't watched Wonder Woman 1984. I've tried 3 times and I can't make it through the first 15 minutes.
So bad. Because the first Wonder Woman is almost flawless.
It's a very, very good movie. Yes.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I want to point out is we have some amazing guests coming on the show. Like, this is going to be our first episode, or our last episode of just us two for a long time. And like, if you're new, stick around, like, come back, because, you know, obviously our videos will be posted on YouTube, but if you catch the live stream, you know, you can ask questions of these guests. Like, next week, we're going to have on the founder of Sober Athletic Wear. Like, that's really exciting. So if you've seen our shirts, so we both have a shirt that have the sober across, and I have a sweatshirt. Like, he's going to come on and tell his story, how he started it, and just let us know. And then we're going to have on a New York Times columnist. We're going to have on a few published authors. We're going to have on, a Native American who is doing some really big things in his community. And sobriety is not a weight. It's a door. And that when you open that door, a lot of things can come through that for you. And some people need that doorway and some people don't. But that's something that I think we need to look into a little bit more, is that sobriety is a doorway and not a weight. And it's going to be shown with our guests that are coming up. It's going to be great. And we're going to have people on again for a second time that we had on before too. So it's going to be a lot of fun reconnecting with friends as well.
That was nice, man. That was good. I like that. I'm gonna steal that. The door thing. And I think to end, man. I think I don't know, one quote that I heard yesterday, man, and it's still new to me. This quote, but for some reason, it stuck with me all night, and I think it's so applicable to everything that we just talked about regarding growing. You know, don't try not to be stagnant or complacent. All of the above. And this quote is, we all know the quote, right? Whatever doesn't kill you
makes you stronger.
Right. But the actual,
I think Lady Gaga said it first.
This newer quote is that I love. I don't know if it's newer, but for me it was, whatever doesn't kill you waits for another chance. And that hit me. Like, yeah, right. I was like, So you got to keep growing and getting stronger mentally. Whatever doesn't kill you waits for another chance. And I was like, whoa. And that's drugs, baby.
Was that drugs. Was that Captain Hook about the crocodile?
No, it's from this movie.
I'm joking. But it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's from this movie. It came out in 2018, but I started watching it last night. Black Earth Rising. It's about I can never pronounce it, but the African country Rwanda. Rwanda, right? And just the genocide, and then she's a survivor. She's a survivor of the genocide, literally picked from the bodies. And that's what she said. And I was like, she cut somebody off. Somebody said, whatever doesn't make you stronger. She cut him off and said, waits for another chance. And I was just like, I like that.
That's deep.
It is. It is.
So, you know, we started off kind of discombobulated. We had audio issues. We are.
We Dennis Rodman this bad boy though.
Wait, we did. We are Untapped Keg, right? We're a sobriety and mental health podcast. We are tell people stories. We're removing the stigma from mental health, from men's mental health, from women's mental health, from everybody's mental health, and sobriety. Any stigma any sobriety, doesn't matter. We've had people on who've had drug addictions. We've had people, obviously, we're alcoholics. We are part of the Believe Podcast Network. We are making moves. We are ready to tell your story if you're ready. We're ready to give you a platform to tell your story.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
Untapped Keg everywhere. All social media. Soon you'll be able to go to untappedkeg.com again, and you'll be able to leave something there. Hit us up at untappedkeg@gmail.com if you have a story you would like to tell. Even if you just want to talk. We do not talk about things in our Twitter, in our Facebook, in our Instagram DMs. If you just want to talk, hit us up. We will get back to you.
Yep.
Let us know if we can help. If you need advice, listen, we're not mental health professionals, but we've been through it. We can offer peer-to-peer support. We're here for you. And, 2022, it's a new year, but we still have the same challenges from last year that we need to overcome. And we need to start looking at them as they are challenges. They're not obstacles. They're challenges. Challenges you can get through. So let's do this together. Mons, where can people find you?
Real quick, man. I'm excited. I got my new chair arrived. My new chair arrives on Tuesday. Get me a nice little chair. It's gonna be sweet. But anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter at MonteeBall28, Instagram Montee Ball, obviously our Untapped Keg pages as well. And just like what RJ stated, whenever you're ready to share your story, please hit us up. Please hit us up, and we'll provide you the platform, the stage, and just to share and become part of the solution. I'm part of the solution. We're a giant team here. But yeah, whatever you guys want to see, you guys want to see certain guests, you guys want us to talk about certain topics, you guys want us to dive more into specific topics, please let us know. RJ, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at It's Trickster, ITZ, the I is a 1 in Trickster. Untapped Keg everywhere. We'll be sitting there. We will get back to you as soon as we can. We don't sit there. We can't sit there and wait for it every time, minute of the day. But
right,
we will get back to you as quick as we can. Sometimes it's within a couple of minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour. But we always get back. There hasn't been one time we have not. And Happy New Year, everybody. 2022, filled with possibilities. But they're only possibilities if you make them possible. Let's try to be better tomorrow than we were today, because at least if we didn't make it, we tried. Thank you for tuning in. See ya.